We don't need roads.
Need some suspension work and shocks and brakes, brake pads, lining, steering box, transmission, rear end.
Ka-chow. Just don't see no cars and words. I love this button.
Always remember, you ain't first, you're last.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
All right, welcome back to the Unnamed Movie Car Podcast, recording at you live from the home studio because we're not talking about a movie today.
Wow. Okay, so that's new to me.
Yeah, so I haven't told my dad what we're doing. What are you trying to do? What are you doing?
I'm turning on the timer.
Oh, we don't need a timer. It's fine. We don't need one.
Okay.
So we've been battling our equipment all night. It's been a rough night emotionally, but we're here to celebrate the 50th episode.
Yes.
Half 100 episodes of the Unnamed Movie Car Podcast.
That is 50. That's
and
wow,
I thought we'd do something fun.
Okay. Sounds good.
But before we get into that, do you have a particularly favorite episode from the last 50 so far?
Oh, man. I think, I listened to them all, and I think one of our best episodes was Acceleration, believe it or not. I think Acceleration was one of our best.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
And
okay.
I think just from this fact of the going back and forth between you and I think there was a lot of really funny stuff.
Fun banter.
Yeah, fun banter in the Acceleration. And then the other one that I think was pretty good was the, believe it or not, Poker Run.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that actually was pretty good.
Yeah, it was fun to do.
Those were fun. I mean, so it's been great.
It's been a great run.
It has been. Yeah.
I like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was one of my favorites.
Really? It was?
Well, just for recording wise, just because we watched the movie and then recorded like right as the credits started rolling.
We did.
And
that
we
was
started the movie at like 7 p.m. So
that was a late one, yeah.
By the time we started recording, it was so late. And I remember just laying down completely horizontal. And just talking. I think I rested the microphone on my chest and was just talking into it. And that was just so fun to do. All of the bad movie car ones, they're very fun to do. But I sometimes feel like we get stuck in a rut of terrible movies.
We have had like stretches of really awful movies. Yeah, we really.
But
have.
I mean that's the fun of it. So
it is.
Thank you everyone for listening.
Yes, thank you.
50 episodes is absolutely awesome.
Yep.
And we're here for 50 more, and we'll take this until we get physically ill of it.
Right.
And even then we'll probably do one more episode.
Yeah. We'll still do shout outs.
We'll still do shout outs. Shout out to Paul Shin. Shout out to Craig Lieberman.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Bella the dog.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
But today, you have no idea what we're doing.
I have
for the
absolutely
50th
no idea.
episode.
In fact, I can't even see you because I have my microphone and windscreen in
He's
front of me.
so upset with the equipment that you're almost going horizontal.
No, my neck hurts. My neck hurts. So I'm literally like leaning back and I've got the whole
you can close your eyes if you want, but just don't fall asleep. Because I remember.
Yeah.
This was, you know the story I'm about to tell.
Probably, yes.
This was 10 years ago, over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Back when, do you remember when we shared a computer desk? You had your work computer facing the windows, and the iMac was facing the door.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
For a short period of time,
I forgot.
we shared
did that.
a computer
Yeah, we
desk.
actually could. Yeah.
And I wanted to show you how to play Minecraft. You remember this story?
Yeah, unfortunately,
I remember I was literally, the reason I remember this so vividly is because it was literally out of a movie. Yeah. So I'm playing the game. I'm in junior high, right? And I'm like, so basically you just kind of run up to trees and you punch them. I look back and you're like, oh, okay, that seems easy.
Yeah.
Click, click, click to punch the tree. I turn around, you're snoring. It was out of a movie. I don't know how it happened. It was so immediate that like literally I was just like, oh wow, that was like I thought it was so funny.
Well, I'm like, okay, so first of all, I'm the worst dad in the world. Okay, I'll take that.
True. You're the sleepiest dad in the world. But.
So what's funny about that to me, unfortunately, is that my dad did exactly the same thing to me.
Oh yeah.
One day I was asking because my dad always worked. He worked 24/7. Yeah. But one day, and every time he was home, he fell asleep in the recliner. That was it. That's all he did. So I asked him one day, I said, hey, Dad, how do you spell this guy's name? And it's my friend Bill Delichai.
Yeah.
And I said, how do you spell Delichai? Because I was writing a letter or something. This is back in the day when you actually
Yeah,
wrote letters and sent them in envelopes.
Hey, I still write letters and send them in
that's
envelopes.
good.
I have
That's a good
wax
thing.
stamps for them too.
Oh, yeah.
To
Well, you
seal
have the
them
cool
closed,
thing.
yeah.
But that's cool.
I'm
So
cool, but go on.
I asked my dad, and he said, and I said, well, how do you spell Delichai? And he goes, Delle.
No way.
Yeah, he literally, in the middle of a sentence explaining how to spell this guy's name, he fell asleep. So I
Jeez.
feel awful
Well,
now, but yeah.
No, but there is a story. Well, passing it down.
Okay,
we
so-
were coming back from the racetrack
no.
with my friend
Oh, no.
Tyler and Rebecca,
Yeah.
and we were in the F-150 towing the Spec Miata on the trailer.
Really? Yeah.
And we got up at my friend Steen and I went to bed at 2:30 in the morning. We woke up at 3:30 to go to the track.
Wow.
We get there before as the sun's coming up. We drive 3 hours into Michigan as the sun's
Wow.
coming up. We race all day in the middle of July. It was
Yeah.
101 degrees.
Yeah.
All the cars broke down. They ended up all getting fixed. All 7 cars that we had
Wow.
together. It was a
That's
miraculous. Well, actually,
crazy.
all but one. Rod had to leave his car at the track because
okay.
the electrical problems.
Wow. All right.
But on the way back, I was literally talking to Rebecca and Tyler, and according to them, mid-sentence, I just looked down at the ground, and then I just napped for about 10 minutes in the back of the F-150.
Okay, so it's not just me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's been handed down from generation to
According
generation.
According to Bella, I will
Yeah.
be halfway through a sentence and then just be out.
I could easily do
Or-
that and have done that to you. Unfortunately,
or
I've
be-
actually done that.
A lot of the times, she'll say, I'll be on the cusp of sleeping,
Yeah.
and I'll say stuff to her, like ask her a question,
Right. I've done that. Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
I'll literally just be laying there. She's half asleep. I'm
Yeah.
half asleep. And I'll
Yep.
just go, what? No. And then she's like, what? And then, but here's the thing.
That
And
does
then,
happen. That's
and then
so funny.
I fully wake up and
Yeah.
I go, what? And she goes, no, what did you say? And I'm like, I woke up to you saying what? So there's just a whole disconnect. And she just goes, forget it. And just rolls over.
It makes about as much sense as Poker Run.
Pretty much.
Yeah. If you
So-
have, yeah. So yeah.
Shall
so-
we get on to the festivities
let's
of
get
this
on-
podcast? 'Cause
let's
it's
get
actually
on to
going to
that,
be
yeah.
a 2-part podcast.
Wow, 2 parts.
well,
parts
you're gonna
1
listen
and 2.
Well, you're going to listen to it in one part. I'm going to
I
edit
prob-
it together,
okay.
but we're going
All
to
right,
record
okay.
it in 2 parts.
Okay, let's.
So
what-
I
what's
thought
going
we
on?
could play a fun game for the 50th
Okay, here we
episode
go.
of the Unnamed Movie Car Podcast.
Yes,
So
sounds like fun. whatever
our
it is.
job here in part 1
Yeah.
is to come up with 10 characters. Okay?
10 characters. Okay.
So, and we'll work through it together.
Okay.
With the goal, we're
Yes.
going to make up these 10 characters.
Yes.
Then we're going to pause the podcast and record
Okay.
on another night.
Okay.
So, for each of these 10 characters,
Yeah.
you and I, independently of one another, have to cast a car for that
Oh.
character.
Oh wow. Okay.
And we'll
all
come
right,
back
okay.
and see, like, and we can be detailed about the characters, and we can be super detailed about the cars if we want. So, like, you might come back and be like, let's just, for example, guy's a school teacher, recently divorced.
Okay.
Are
Are we gonna
2
Well, we'll
kids.
just listen to this because I'm not gonna write it down.
Well, I'm going to write it down. I'm
Oh, you
gonna
are?
write it
Okay.
down.
All right.
And then we'll come back and we'll be like, well, I think this guy should have a Saab 9.5 turbo, but it's missing
Oh.
hubcaps because his life's kind of in shambles. So
yeah.
we're gonna make up 10 characters.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we'll give them cars.
Give them cars.
But-
Gotcha.
But,
so
we're not
okay.
gonna work together on what cars they get.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we're gonna independently
All right.
go do that.
So we'll create 10 characters,
Right.
and then we give them a car. We
Right.
give each one a car.
Right.
Okay, that's cool.
And
that
you
would
could be
fun.
super specific. You could be
All
like,
right.
it's a hot rodded car with the front end of this.
Yeah.
If he's like, a drifter or something like that.
Okay.
So let's figure out let's work on some characters
Okay.
then.
All right. Let's work on characters.
So
Sounds good.
think of one. Let's start off with.
So, do you want to like choose characters from movies or just off the cuff?
I'm saying
Anything-
off the cuff,
Okay,
like
off the
basically
cuff.
like attributes.
Wow,
We don't have to give them
okay.
like a name, but so let's first one. Let's do a male.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Um,
good. I mean, if you start with gender, obviously that's probably
Male
the easiest way.
school teacher.
School teacher, fine. Okay.
Let's do recently divorced.
What grade of school teacher?
Ooh, good one. Let's do junior high. I feel like
Junior
those
high
are the most
school-
stressed out
Yeah.
of the
Junior high
grades.
school teacher, recently divorced. Yes.
Do we want to throw a drinking problem in there?
I was gonna say gambling addiction, but I was gonna say something.
Let's just say addictive personality.
Okay. Well. Okay. Yeah.
Addictive traits, I'll say.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I mean, we could be more specific. We
Yeah.
could say it's a drinking or gambling addiction, something like
Okay.
that. Let's say it's
Let's do gambling.
let's do gambling addiction. Good.
Okay.
Good. Gambling. So he's a junior high teacher who's gambling addiction. Yeah.
Recently divorced.
Recently divorced. How old is he?
Let's do like upper 30s, lower 40s.
Okay. So upper. Well, okay. Let's say.
Let's do lower 40s since like divorced.
Okay, so yeah, let's do lower 40s. Okay, so do you want to talk about physical characteristics?
I think that's enough info, or no? Do you want to keep
No, we
diving
can-
on this?
I don't-
Do
we
you think
can-
that's enough to pull from?
That's probably enough. So
Okay.
yeah. All
So
right,
let's do another character.
All right, male or female?
Let's do a female.
Female. Age.
Ooh. Because there's two ways we could play it. We could do
Right,
like
exactly,
a
yeah.
young
Right.
teen bopper. Like
Well, we can do several characters, so we can have
That's true. For this one, let's do an 85-year-old.
85-year-old female.
85-year-old named Gladys.
Gladys.
That's just such a
We
Gladys.
didn't give the
name.
guy first. We didn't give the teacher a name.
Doesn't
did we?
deserve one. He has a gambling problem.
Wow. Ouch.
How about okay?
Okay.
Let's give him one. What's
Yeah.
like a what's a good name for a 40-year-old middle school teacher?
Earl.
Earl.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Earl.
All right.
Mhm.
So female Gladys.
Gladys, she's 85.
85.
And, yep. And
Um,
she's
Is she retired? Is she still working?
she is she's actually still working.
Still working.
She's
wow.
still
okay.
working. Yeah.
What's she doing?
She's an auto mechanic.
Okay.
She's an 85-year-old auto
Working
mechanic.
auto mechanic.
Working
yeah.
auto mechanic.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly.
Let's see here. Family. What are we thinking? She divorced. She's single.
Oh,
she's
her husband passed away, so she's a widower.
widow. Okay. Or
She's
widower,
a
yeah.
widower. I don't know how that works. Is it widow or widower when you're male, female? I don't know.
I thought a widower was when you're the person that died,
Oh, okay.
because then you're making the widow.
Oh, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. So
Whatever.
she's a widow.
She's a widow.
She's a widow. She's 85, working as a car mechanic.
Does she have like kids and grandkids?
She's sassy.
Sassy.
She's sassy, and she does have grandkids. Yeah, she has grandkids that don't understand her.
Okay.
You know, they don't get her and why she's still working as an auto mechanic at age 85.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like that's good for Gladys.
All right, Gladys is good. Okay.
Let's do. What else should we do? Let's do another female.
Let's do another female.
Let's
okay.
do young.
Young. Okay. Let's say 23.
Okay.
Okay. 23. They all have drinking addictions. So no.
Let's do
it's a-
art student or
Oh, okay, well, we can do
recently
that.
graduated art
recently
student.
graduated. And she is a. Let's see. That's a good question. So she is a. She tends to be like a kind of a Pollyanna, where she's like she wants to think the best of the world. She wants to think the best of things, and so she's an environmentalist.
Okay.
You know, and so she's recently graduated. What did you say? She has an arts degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Art student.
So she's an art student. Do we know what kind of art she does? Is it
Let's do pottery.
pottery? Okay, interesting. Okay, so pottery.
Okay.
She does pottery, and she is
Let's go single. Let's go single.
single.
Just since the last two have had some
Yeah.
type of family.
So we'll do single, and we'll do let's see. I'm trying to think of like are we doing any kind of body descriptions whatsoever? Is
No.
she- okay. All right. So
I think
none of
more
that.
lifestyle.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
I think that's actually pretty solid. We got a
Okay.
couple lines there.
So that's what 3 now we've done.
Yeah, so we've
Okay,
done
4.
3. So we have. Oh wait, we didn't name this art.
Oh,
Art
Art's.
student.
Her name is geez, I don't know.
I feel like Catherine.
Catherine. Yeah, Catherine's a good one. Let's do Catherine.
So we have Earl, who's the school teacher, recently divorced junior high school teacher,
Yep.
is addicted to gambling and is in his lower 40s. We have Gladys, the 85-year-old auto mechanic, widow, who's super sassy and her grandkids don't get her.
Yep.
And we have Catherine, who's a 23-year-old female, recent art student graduate,
Yes.
very positive and an environmentalist. She's into pottery and she's single.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Um,
Let's jump back into male. Let's
Yes.
do a young male this time.
Okay.
Male who is 18.
18.
Very young.
18, okay.
Young male, 18. Let's.
Is he from an affluent family? Is he a
Oh,
hard
good
worker? Is
question.
he a farmhand?
He is. He's.
We're going to have like mommy and daddy's money?
No,
like,
he's
is
a
this
farmhand. He's not.
farmhand?
He's
Okay.
very, very down to earth. Farmhand. Likes to play the cello.
Okay. So there's like maybe a little bit of a softer
So
side
maybe,
to him. A
maybe
little bit of
would you-
grace in the
maybe,
grain, you know?
Maybe a little bit. So he likes to play the cello. He is he does work on a farm. He's got
Yeah,
so
farmhand.
Farmhand. His name is Luke.
Luke.
Luke,
Good one.
and,
Good one. Solid American name.
That's right. And he is obviously he doesn't have a girlfriend even. He's not connected at all. It's just like
Okay.
he's very shy. Yeah.
I would say has dreams of moving to the big city. How
He
about that? To
does.
pursue cello.
Yes, he does have dreams of moving, and his. I don't think his parents are very supportive of his dreams of the cello. I think they think that's a very, that's how can you make money being a cellist? That kind of thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, his
Good. I
parents.
think
thought
that's
so.
good for
Okay,
Luke.
So good for Luke. Okay, let's try.
By the way, I
another
just want to. We do have 4 out of 6,
Okay,
or
all
well,
right.
we
I
don't
don't-
have to do 10, but
Yeah. one. That's good.
when we do reveal our car picks to one another,
Yep.
we give some description about why you picked that car.
Yep. Absolutely.
Some
yeah,
background.
Definitely.
All right, so
absolutely.
let's do another one. You know what? Let's do a non-binary character.
Yeah. Good. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Non-binary.
Yep.
Works at a coffee shop.
Yes, works at a coffee shop. Name is Chris. Works at a coffee shop as a barista, right? Or do you want to? What do you want to?
Yeah, let's say owns a coffee
Oh,
shop.
that's nice. Okay.
Let's flip the script a
So-
little bit. Let's do owns a coffee shop.
So Chris owns
you know
a
what?
coffee
No.
shop.
Let owns coffee shop
Chop.
coffee shop chain.
Wow. So Chris is non-binary, owns a coffee shop chain. Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
So like, we're going to be dealing here with like, maybe a Toyota Avalon, maybe
Well,
we're doing
let's-
not super executive, but
I don't know. I mean, okay. So okay. Well, we'll have our reasons for whatever cars we pick for these things. So
yeah.
Okay. So
Not in a relationship but looking.
okay. Good. Yeah. That's
so maybe
good.
you'll want something fun, like a Miata.
Yeah. So yeah, potential of dating. Right.
Right.
So yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, age.
Age. I would say probably early 30s.
Okay, yeah, if they
Yeah,
own
if they
a
own a chain.
yeah, let's do 35.
Yeah, 35.
35.
35
35 is a solid age.
Yep, that's good.
Super old in my opinion, but yeah, it's solid
Wow.
age.
Yikes.
Trying to think of
I'm
some
like
other-
ancient. Okay. So let's see. Chris owns the coffee shop chain, and is looking. And what else? Anything? Where do they live?
Oh yeah.
Where does Chris live?
Let's say, you know what? To make it interesting, let's
Yeah.
put Chris in a red state.
Oh, okay.
So let's
like where?
do Texas.
Okay.
Dallas.
Chris lives in Texas. Oh, Dallas, Texas. Okay.
Dallas, Texas.
All right. Well, that'd be good.
Which is actually a pretty progressive town
yeah,
for Texas, but
think so.
it's
Yeah.
still Texas.
All right.
Yeah, that's good for Chris.
So
So
anything
we're
else on
at
that?
5.
Okay, we're at 5. Okay.
So let's do Janice.
Janice.
She's 48.
Okay.
Never had a job.
Never had a job.
Never had a job.
Okay.
Um,
So is this a daddy's money kind of parents' money kind of
spouse
thing? or
money. Spouse
money.
money.
Okay,
But no
spouse money.
kids.
No kids.
But 2
spouse
dogs.
money.
So
Two dogs.
you know those dogs are treated well.
Yes. Yes, they get the best. Yeah.
Right. They get the
Okay.
premium food.
This is Janice?
Yes.
Okay, so Janice, okay, and then
Very, very
are they wealthy or are they
yeah,
okay, they're
wealthy.
wealthy, okay.
Very, what's the word? Involved in the community.
Okay.
She doesn't have
All
a
right,
job.
that's good.
So
That's
she
good.
looks after the dogs and
Good.
she volunteers.
Yeah, okay. So keeps herself active. That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to think of what else. Ooh, okay. Last one has a
Last
sugar
one?
addiction.
Oh, sugar addiction. Wow, she does?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's a good one. I like
Yeah.
that one.
So that's number 6. We have 6
Okay.
people written down. So
Okay.
let's do let's do 4 more.
do 4 more. Okay, let me
Pull
so
one out. Yeah.
Roy
Roy, okay.
is 62
Okay.
and executive.
Executive.
Yeah. And he's a jerk.
Okay.
I'm talking this guy is an a-hole, right? Is bastard.
Yeah, okay.
This guy is like a waste of life. He's a horrible, terrible
Yeah.
person. And so what else can we give him? I'm just trying to think like all over the field. So let's give him
Kids don't talk to him.
yeah, kids. He's had like 4 wives. Kids
Yeah.
don't talk to him. Very self-concerned, narcissistic. Just really believes that he's the be-all, end-all. Has run several companies, but he's an executive. A lot of money, and of course, but and doesn't. Yeah, kids don't talk to him.
Good, that's a solid one.
Okay, yeah. So, all right.
So let me pair with you
All right,
here.
okay.
Because I think for these last few, we can get kind of out there.
Okay,
mean,
let's run the gamut.
Yeah.
Let's find stuff that it'll make it a little bit interesting as we look for cars for these people.
Yeah.
All
Let's do okay, so let's do James.
James. Okay.
If I could spell that. James, he is 26.
James is 26.
He's a billionaire.
Oh, wow, a billionaire at 26.
A billionaire from his dead parents.
Ah, okay. All right. All right.
And he's on the verge
Mhm.
of making a huge scientific discovery.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, good. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to type. I can't really type. Discovery. Okay.
Yeah.
What else? He's kind of like a boy genius.
Okay. All right.
Basically, kind of a smarter Batman.
Oh,
let's
wow.
say.
Okay, yeah.
Not necessarily a fighting crime.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. So James, he's a billionaire, dead parents. He's on the verge of a scientific discovery. He's kind of a boy genius.
Yeah.
So like, what kind of car would he drive for that?
Okay, good. It's a good.
Let's do. So we have what? 2 more? 1,
Yeah, what do
2,
we have?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So we have 2 more. Let's do
Okay.
some real outlandish ones.
All right, let's do some really crazy stuff. Good question. So what would be really out there?
Okay. So let's do. I'm thinking of one. Let's do a 31-year-old girl.
31-year-old girl, okay?
She is a superhero.
Oh, she's a superhero. Fine. Okay, she's 31. Superhero.
She can. What should be her superpower? She can shapeshift.
Wow, she can shapeshift. Okay, so she can be anything like she could be a dog or whatever.
But she no one knows. She's scared of being caught.
So wait, does she go out and do stuff, or like does she actually fight crime, or does
She does when she
is
can.
she a superhero or supervillain?
Ooh, that's a good one. But let's do
Yeah.
superhero.
A superhero. Okay.
And like if she sees some crime, she'll like fix it. But like she's also like she's really scared of getting caught.
Yeah.
Because she's scared that like the government's gonna like do tests on her and
Okay.
stuff, or that she'll
I
get
already know
arrested.
the car for her, but go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
scared
so-
of being caught.
Yep.
She fights crime a little bit, but not like
Wow. Just
know, you know,
yeah, when I feel like fighting crime, I fight crime. When I feel like it, yeah.
more of like a original Spider-Man type deal where it was like
Okay.
he stopped
All
bank
right.
robbers and
yeah,
stuff. Not like
okay. So he was the neighborhood Spider-Man.
right,
He wasn't
not like
the
Avengers where
giant
it's
superhero
like
thing.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Okay.
She fights crime.
So okay, so she fights crime, and so I'm trying to think of other things.
What's her name?
Her name. You didn't give her a name?
No.
Okay.
Just the
I would
31-year-old
say,
girl. Should we give her her superhero name?
I guess we could.
I can't think
do you have a
of
name
one.
for it? Yeah, I would say
Supergirl.
I would
throwaway
yeah,
superhero name.
exactly. Let's see. What would a good name for her be?
I don't know. That's hard.
The Shifter.
Okay. The Shifter. Sure.
Okay.
I'm glad you already have a car idea for her.
I do have a car idea for her, but yeah.
She does fight crime. Let's add something. Let's add a quirk here. Let's do a.
Yeah, we have to have something that she maybe something that she's deathly afraid of.
Okay.
What is she deathly afraid of? She's afraid of
She's a germaphobe.
Germaphobe. Very
so
good.
she'll shapeshift it into a rat.
Yeah.
And go through a little subway tunnel, but then she's like, she's like.
She can't stand it.
Right.
All right. That's good. So that's an interesting character. Okay. All right.
So we have one last character to create.
One last character. Do we have a balance of male, female, binary, or non-binary? So we have that.
We have a pretty good balance. So
okay.
Let's do a fun one.
Okay. How about this? How about a cyborg?
Oh, okay.
How about that? How about a machine, basically?
Okay.
Part human, part machine.
Okay.
So that's a non-binary as well.
Right.
For this
Should we say traveled back in time to this era, so we could deal with modern cars and not the 2192 Audi Q7000?
Yes.
Okay.
Has traveled back in time and has to adjust to this time period, and so we have to choose a car for the cyborg.
Is the cyborg trying to blend in with society?
The cyborg, that's a good question. So the cyborg is, yes, stuck here. So it cannot go back in time, of course. And so for that reason, it must blend in as best it can and doesn't want anyone to know its secret, that it is a cyborg. So that's an important part of it.
Do they have a secret, is there a family of, a cover-up family, or,
yeah, I'm trying to think of what you would have. So there is a, and it has a drinking addiction
of oil, but it can't tell anyone.
Every character has this addiction.
Let's say it has a drinking oil problem.
Yeah, it has to. It has to.
But it has to cover it up. People are like, why are all these empty oil cans in your garage?
Right,
exactly. I don't know. I drive a Yugo. I don't know.
Well, yeah. So we haven't chosen the car yet, but so it has an oil addiction,
right?
Which is good. That's a good one. And then let's see what else. Can we name it Rex? Because I don't know if Rex the robot kind of thing.
Yeah,
the cyborg
that works.
Rex. Yeah, and then let's see what else can we give this. So basically, it's ageless, so it's not like we can give it an age.
Right. I think that's good. I think that's a cyborg stuck in time.
I would say, though, let's also say, though, that the cyborg is either really big or really small or something. So that it's not it couldn't get into every vehicle, so it has some limitations. We have to choose if you want to say really big, or really tall, really tall.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's say it's really tall. It's like Shaquille's size tall. Okay.
Okay.
Because I think Shaquille is a cyborg probably, but anyway.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal. I love Shaquille O'Neal.
Shout out to Shaquille O'Neal.
Shout out. So I would say, that's probably
that's our 10.
That's our 10.
So you want me to do a quick run through, and then we're going to stop the podcast.
Okay.
We'll come through another night.
Yeah.
And we'll have all of our answers.
I'm going to need time.
Yeah.
to go through
for
all
real,
of these.
I want these fleshed out vehicles.
Okay, yeah. We'll do that for sure, definitely.
For our characters, if you'd like to play
go.
along at home.
All right, here we go.
Number 1, we have Earl. He's a male school teacher, recently divorced. He teaches junior high, and his addictive trait is gambling, and he's in his lower 40s.
Okay.
Next up, we have Gladys. She's an 85-year-old female. She's still a working auto mechanic. She's a widow. She's very sassy, and her grandkids don't really get her.
Yep. Okay.
Next up, we have Catherine. She's a 23-year-old female, recent graduate from art college, art student. She's very positive. She's an environmentalist. She's into pottery, and she's single.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have Luke. He's an 18-year-old male. He's a farmhand. He plays the cello. He's single, and he dreams of moving to the big city to pursue his cello career.
And who doesn't? Mm-hmm.
And his parents don't support him.
Right.
Next up, we have Chris, who's non-binary and 35,
Mm-hmm.
owns a coffee store chain. I misspelled chain.
Oh.
Coffee shop chain.
That's right.
Not in a relationship, but looking. Did I already say lives in Dallas?
Oh, yes.
lives in
No,
Dallas.
but lives in Dallas.
Lives in Dallas.
Yep.
Next up, Janice. She's a 48-year-old. She's never had a job. She does not have any kids. She has 2 dogs that she treats very well. She's wealthy. She volunteers a lot, and she has a sugar addiction.
Okay, good.
Next up, we have Roy. He's 62. He's an executive. He's a jerk. He's awful. He's had 4 wives. His kids don't like him, but he has tons of money.
Yep.
Next up, we have James, who's a billionaire from his dead parents, and he's on the verge of a scientific discovery, and he's a boy genius.
Were his parents killed by the Joker?
No, they were killed by a pearl necklace.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Next up, we have 31. Oh, the Shifter is her name.
The Shifter.
She's a 31-year-old girl, female, superhero who can shapeshift. She's very scared of being caught. She does fight crime, but she's a germaphobe.
Well, sometimes she fights crime, but she feels like it.
It's sometimes,
Right.
And lastly, we have Rex the cyborg, who travels back in time and is stuck here.
Yeah.
He must blend in. He has a drinking oil problem, and he's very tall.
He's very tall. Shaquille O'Neal
style tall.
Yeah.
So we are going to hit pause on the podcast.
All
You're
right.
not going to even notice a thing. But when we come back, we are going to
Yeah.
have ideas and descriptions of what all these people drive.
Yep.
And we'll see if our ideas line up with one another.
Yeah, that's
or
great.
if they differ massively. And we'll sort of it'll be a fun experiment into casting cars. And I'm
Right,
also
for these
very
people.
curious because I feel like your cars are going to be like 70s through 90s.
You're probably
And
right, because that's what I'm thinking.
And my
That is-
cars are going to be a lot more modern,
Yeah.
just since that's
Yeah.
my job is to
Yes.
drive modern cars.
Yes. And I don't know
Um,
modern cars. I really
So
don't,
this will be very, very interesting. So
yeah, no, I think it'll be good. I mean, it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be fun to see what you pick and what I pick, and then to combine those and for our explanations of why we chose
Right.
what we chose for those
and
characters.
feel free to get specific. Say, hey, it's missing a hubcap.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
got the seat torn out. Whatever
yeah,
it is.
I want colors. I want
Yeah.
the whole thing. So,
So all right,
yeah,
so
all right.
you're not going to notice a thing, but we're going to do some thinking, and we'll join right back in.
Now I've got to get up and actually pause the.
Oh, yeah, that's
pause the
kind of a
recorder,
thing.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're back. It's now been what, like a week?
It has
maybe?
been, yeah,
Almost
it's been about a week.
A little
yeah.
under a week,
Yeah.
maybe. We have our selections
Yes.
for you.
I'm excited
hope-
about this.
Yeah,
Actually,
me too.
I have been looking. At first I thought this was going to be impossible
Yeah.
to do, and then I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
I'll
So-
be honest. I don't have as much reasoning behind all of
Really?
my cars as I really thought I was going
Oh,
to.
okay.
They were
Right.
just kind of like
Okay.
guttural reactions,
Yeah.
and like it was hard for me to fully formulate why I thought these things.
Yeah. That's okay. That's
but
all
I just
right. I
had
mean,
these,
it's
like gut reactions.
well, but
so.
that's fine. I mean, sometimes that's the best way to do it. And mine, I don't think I have like stellar reasons for any of this stuff, but we'll just see. But again, if you're playing at home, this is kind of fun. So do you want to do it like you talk about the car and then I talk about the car for the first one?
I
for
think
the
we'll
first
just
character?
go character by character. We'll share each other's cars.
That sounds good. Okay.
And go down the list. So.
Okay, and do you have my other? Yeah, you have that list there because I want you to see the cars.
Oh
too.
yeah. So
All
the
right.
first one was Earl.
Yes,
He's a
Earl.
male school teacher, recently divorced. He teaches junior high.
Yep.
He has a gambling problem.
He sure does.
And he's in his lower 40s.
He
So who
does.
wants to go first?
Why don't you go first?
So I chose for him
Yeah.
a 1989 Volvo 240DL wagon.
Oh.
So I do have a photo here.
Oh.
I chose it in blue, as you can see there.
Oh, that's good.
I chose it in blue because
Yeah.
I've reviewed 3 of these.
Yeah.
They've all been the same blue color. They've all been the same pale blue color.
Good. All right.
I picked it because it's cheap. It's
Yeah.
reliable.
Yeah.
It's not new. I figured
yeah.
someone with a gambling addiction never has enough
Yeah.
money to buy the new car,
Right,
but has
you-
enough money to keep the car going.
You and I had the same idea as far as that
okay.
goes. So it's not new. Yeah.
Yeah, it never has enough money long enough to upgrade.
Yeah.
And then I always associate school teachers with like Volvos and Saabs.
Yeah. Yeah, I could
don't
totally
know
see
why.
that.
I really don't know why.
Yeah.
I was gonna do a Saab, but also I listened to this podcast, Trillionaire Mindset.
Yeah.
It's like a finance podcast. It's really funny.
Yeah.
And one of the hosts on there, he's a day trader, and he'll make like 20 grand in a day.
Really?
But he also will lose 35 grand
Oh,
in a day. I
okay.
mean, he's like a big time
okay.
day trader.
All right.
And
yeah.
he drives an '89 Volvo, and he always talks about it because he's like, I'm running
wow.
this thing into the ground. He's like, there's a year that I made over $1 million profit
Wow.
in a year, but he's like, I'm still driving this thing. So I sort of had that mindset. What did you pick? I think I saw what you picked for the first one.
You probably did, and you can probably guess too. In fact, I ran this by Nick too. Nick had almost exactly the same idea for this. So
Okay.
I thought it was pretty funny that he and I both kind of thought. So for him, I have the I got to read this now because it is a 1995, so it's not new. 1995 C4 Corvette.
Did
So-
they make C4s that late?
Yeah. So here's the deal.
Okay.
So what I did actually, I went online to find all the
Yeah.
cars because I don't have like the treasure trove of cars in my
the
head like you do.
extensive library
Right,
today was
in my
review
head.
number 762.
Yeah, no, like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't have
most
that.
of these
So-
cars I have reviewed, by the way. So
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty hilarious. So what I did was I went through, and so I actually have the cars. I pulled up the cars. So this one is a 1995 C4 Corvette in red, of course. You can look on the front page there.
Also,
That's
if you're listening on Spotify, this might be a YouTube one because I'll try to put the
Yeah.
images up on YouTube.
It would be fun to do that. So, and then we're gonna have we're gonna try and do a fun giveaway. Our first giveaway,
yeah,
really,
we'll do a giveaway at the end of the episode.
At the end of the episode. So, for this episode. So, or at least we're not one down, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure how we're gonna do it. So anyway, here's the thing. Being that he's a high school teacher and recently divorced, he doesn't have a lot of money. So
Yeah.
you and I had the same idea. He doesn't have a ton of money, but he wants to look the part.
That's fair.
So that's why he gets the C4 Corvette. And the fact is that he wants to look the part as he pulls up to the casino because he has a gambling problem. He wants to look
Yeah.
like he's a high roller and he has a lot of money. He really doesn't. And this is the quintessential midlife crisis, car is a Corvette.
See,
for
that's
Matthew.
so funny because you say that as the midlife crisis car. I picture
Well,
the next.
for me.
Well, I picture
would
the next generation of Corvette as
Okay.
the midlife crisis car.
All right.
Or now maybe even the next generation after that, the C5 or C6, to me
Right.
is like the midlife crisis
Well,
car.
But this guy's in his lower 40s.
Right,
So
right,
he's
right,
closer to my age. And what was the other thing I said here? The other thing was that
I could see a
what was
little
it?
bit of like a thrill seeker maybe for the
yeah,
sports car.
I think plus two,
ideal.
he wants to be kind of this is kind of weird, but he wants to be kind of the hip cool teacher.
Yeah.
In the junior high is like, oh, I've got the Corvette,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's one of the things that he definitely wants to do. Again, it's one of those I think it's a total midlife crisis car, but it's a fun car, blah blah blah. But by the way, this one was $10,000.
Oh, interesting.
So
okay.
used.
I don't have prices for
Okay.
any of mine. I'm sorry.
I have prices for all of mine.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just because I looked them up,
Yeah.
and that's what I had to do. So here's the thing: is okay, $10,000. He could do it. He could afford it. Makes him feel good. Blah blah blah. This actually, by the way, when I looked up this car, it was really sketchy.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
The guy selling it was like, I only want cash. I need to sell it right away.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, it seems kind of hot, but yeah.
C4s are kind of a lost generation of the Corvette. They don't have the cult following that like the C5 and C6 do.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And a
Okay.
lot of the C4s kind of fell into $800 cars. The C5 never really got down to being cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap in like that sort of way. I mean, can you find a C5 Corvette for 10 grand? Maybe.
Really? You
but
could?
like my friend got his Corvette, C5 Corvette manual, with decently low mileage, but his was like 23 grand. I mean, they never really they
All
never
right.
bottomed out.
Yeah, well,
like the C4 really
I was going to
did.
say the C4.
Yeah.
When I saw this, I was like, okay. So, all right.
Interesting. So I did an
yeah.
89 Volvo station wagon.
Right,
and you
I did
a
95
C4 Corvette.
95 C4
Interesting.
Corvette.
So we want to move on to the next
yeah,
one?
let's move on to the next one.
So our next character was Gladys. She's an 85-year-old. She's a still working auto mechanic. She's a widow. She's sassy, and her grandkids don't get her.
They just don't understand.
So I chose for Gladys a 1981 Chevy Malibu sedan. I'll pull up a photo
Chevy
here.
Malibu sedan. Oh,
So it's a G body.
Wow.
Which is important. G bodies have a cult following.
Do they?
A lot of GM products, they're called G bodies. It was just a platform that they used. Like the Buick Regal sat on this platform, I believe. They very much have a cult following, and they're sort of the last generation of Chevys that were actually like luxurious.
Oh,
Chevy basically morphed in the 90s and still to this day as a budget brand. The Chevy is the lowest on the totem pole.
Okay.
In GM's hierarchy. So it's like or Chevy down at the bottom. Basically. There's like Chevy at the bottom, then like Buick in the middle range. Buick's a little bit higher actually, and then there's Cadillac up at the top, right?
Okay.
So this was a Chevy that was still comfortable. A lot of people drive these things to the ground. They were really reliable.
Okay. Good.
And I just picked like a burgundy color. Seems like an old woman color.
Yeah.
Maybe she kept it from her widowed husband.
Yeah.
They're also really easy to work on. A lot of them were still even carbed. I mean, this was like a little bit before EFI.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of carb cars.
So that to me, the auto mechanic part. I know a lot of auto mechanics that have G bodies. So that was my reasoning there.
Oh,
what was your car for Gladys?
So for Gladys,
you're
gonna have to take a look at this one because this is a rat rod.
Okay.
She's got a rat rod. It's a 1931 Ford rat rod.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
very different.
Yes. We have very different things. So this one is okay. So let me read this here. This is an actual existing car. It's a 1931 Ford two-door sedan rat rod, big block 502. All right, that thing's hefty.
Is that a Ford? No, not 502. That's 302.
Okay.
What's that out of?
It says it's 502.
It's got to be like a 7 or 8 liter.
871 superchargers.
Superchargers?
That's what it says.
Okay.
Turbo 400 trans, half-ton Chevy pickup rear end. And
8.8. Oh, so 8.8 inches is how big the diff is.
So welded. Posi welded. Anyway, 26 grand. All right, for this one. Anyway, the idea is that, like her, it's classic. So I think what happened was her husband had a 31 Ford in the garage.
Yeah.
When he passed away, she decided as a mechanic,
I'm
gonna have kind
of rat it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna rat out this car. I'm gonna make it cool. And her grandkids are like, "What the heck are you doing, Grandma?"
Huh. Okay.
So I thought I would give it that. It's kind of classic, very sassy like her.
Yeah.
Like and then it gave her something to do, but it was also a throwback to what her and her husband had. So
that's good.
Was my
that's a pretty good one.
Different.
Yeah.
Different. So thanks.
Who's up next? We have
Catherine. Catherine. This is a fun one too.
So Catherine is 23-year-old, recent art student graduate, very positive, very environmental.
Yep.
She's into pottery and she's single.
Sure is. Yep. Yep.
Which was also interesting going through these. Like, I paid no attention to the fact that she was single. There was some things in here that we added that definitely we didn't need to.
No. Yeah.
So I chose for her a green 2006 Honda Element.
Oh.
You remember Honda Elements?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Let me show you the picture in real life.
Yep.
This is the color I was thinking of too.
All right. Yeah. That's a good.
So the reason I chose the Honda Element was that it's funky, it's different.
Yep.
It's also very versatile. So something that's interesting about the Honda Element is that the second row of seats you can fold up.
Oh.
But they fold up against the sides.
They do?
Yeah, it's weird. And there's actually just a strap to like kind of hang them from the ceiling.
Oh.
It's like a rudimentary thing, but it almost makes the back into like a cargo van. You just kind of move the seats up and out of the way. It's very, very strange.
That is. I don't think that's weird.
It's also it has
cool.
all-weather floors, so there's no Honda Elements don't have carpeting.
Oh.
It's like
Plastic?
It's like those little circles you
Plastique?
see on like the subway.
Oh,
you know how you see like the little like
the
dimpled
nubs. Yeah, the little.
Because
Yeah.
when I reviewed one, I'm like,
Right.
this is just like a subway car. This feels more like public transport than it does a car.
Right,
And then the last thing I said was
Nice.
it's Honda reliable. Has
Sure.
a K24
Well,
engine.
that's
I think.
a good. Yeah.
So pretty reliable,
good.
pretty
And
stout.
it's-
It's funky. It's different.
Did
she
you
can
buy
move.
it used? What year is
Yeah.
it?
Well, I was thinking it was this year.
Oh, okay.
For
well,
all
they
of
may,
these.
okay. So
Yeah,
for mine.
so she can haul her pottery stuff, and if she like gets clay all over the car, it's not really that big of a
Yeah.
deal because it's all weather floor mats all over.
That's that's a good selection. I could see her. I could definitely when I looked at that picture, I could definitely see
Yeah.
her in that car. There's no
All right,
doubt.
so what did you choose?
So for mine, it was a used 2016 Volkswagen e-Golf SE.
Okay.
So it's eco-friendly,
Yeah.
electric car. It's not terribly exciting like her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm guessing she's not that exciting. It's plain. She doesn't have a lot of money. So as a recent grad, this car was $15,000. So as a recent
okay,
grad,
yeah,
she
yeah.
could afford that. And it's and being an artist, it's a good city car. To run around in the city and stuff.
Did
I
we
would have
get these here in the States?
This was available from a
Okay.
local place, so
Okay,
I don't
then
know. Yeah, this was
I
all.
can't remember
taken-
if we got these or not.
these, but again, it's a Volkswagen e-Golf SE. So
Okay.
I thought that would be kind of cool for her to have a little
Yeah.
thing to run around.
Environmental
so.
too. Very
Yep,
good.
Yeah, very
good.
environmental. So again, it's one of those things where it's a little four-door. It's kind of it's a cool looking little car.
Yeah.
And it's a Golf basically, but it's electric. So
Cool.
I thought it was kind of fun, and it's kind of plain. There's nothing spectacular about it. So that makes sense.
Nice.
Okay.
So next up is
next
Luke.
one. Okay. I think we're probably going to be very similar in this one.
I don't
maybe.
think so.
No.
Yeah, I
Really?
went kind of
Okay,
different.
all right,
So
good.
Luke was a farmhand. He's
Yes.
18.
Yes,
He
he's
plays the
18.
cello.
Right. Yeah.
I
I don't know why we said
Yeah, I don't
the
know why.
cello. But yeah.
And he wants to move to the big city.
He does, but his parents are not supportive
Supportive.
of him. Yeah.
So I said he got a dark blue 2000 Buick Century.
Wow. Wow. Okay. 2000.
Yeah, mainly because
So 22 years old. Holy cow.
mainly because I used to work on a farm for a short period of time.
Yes, you did.
And the guy who owned the farm had a bunch of farm trucks and a Buick Century.
Really?
Yeah. I looked at it. So the reasons I had here for it's a hand-me-down car.
Yeah. True.
22 years old.
Yeah.
Older than the kid himself.
Yeah.
Older fashioned parents, I kind of assumed.
Yeah. That's
Because
probably
they
right.
weren't supportive of his big city dreams.
Cellist in the big city.
And it's an American car. I mean,
Oh yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
American folk love American cars, and Buick is definitely high up there.
Absolutely.
They were very comfortable
Definitely, yeah.
cars. I'm sure this thing ran the gamut and had, 300,000 miles on it or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And
that
I
makes
reviewed
perfect
a
sense.
2000 dark blue one. That's why
Okay,
I pulled that
yeah,
one up.
yeah.
I was between that or like a burgundy color.
Yeah, that's and being more like a hand-me-down car.
Yeah.
That definitely would
Yeah.
make sense. That absolutely would make sense.
Yeah. So what did
That
you
was like mine.
choose?
Mine is a 1987 Ford F-150. What you were you're smiling because
No.
you're thinking,
My backup was an 89 Ford Ranger.
oh, okay,
Because that was
right.
the farm truck that I used when I worked on the farm.
yeah. Okay,
And
yeah.
it was disgustingly filthy.
yeah.
And I don't think it had ever been washed in this
Yeah.
millennia. But
Well,
it was
yeah.
this little tried and true. I got it
Alright.
stuck in a bog one time.
Yeah, yeah.
I got it stuck on a hill one time.
Yeah. Well,
it's this
yeah. I
little
mean, those.
trusty truck. So I see what you're going with here. So
Well, so here's the thing: it's an '87 Ford F-150, and you can tell from the picture. It's got some dings and rust and things like that. $4,500. So it was definitely something
Yeah.
he could afford by working at the grocery store on the
Right.
weekends and stuff when he wasn't
not
plowing
easy
the
to
field.
drive these things.
No, these.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he has to deal with that because it's. I'm giving him this car. It has a plow attachment, not in the picture.
Okay.
But I'm saying that this one it would have a plow attachment, but no plow. Like he doesn't even like. It's that kind of thing where. Like our truck, it had attachments that like, there was nothing.
Or maybe
to
like a
attach to it.
fifth wheel in the back in the bed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then it's like, well, it's never used or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's a plow attachment, no plow. By the way, this truck actually does have 2 gas tanks.
Yes,
so,
and there's a switch to switch between them.
Yeah. So
which is kind of cool because you hit the switch,
Yeah.
and then you see your gas gauge start going up because it starts reading for the other tank.
That's cool. That would be fun, but not nowadays. It would be really horrible to have 2 gas tanks. Yeah, it would be impossible. 128,000 miles, which is actually not that bad.
Pretty low mileage.
No, pretty low mileage.
This thing's a deal. There's no way this thing ran.
Right. No, I get you. I get you. So that was my choice because, farmhand pickup truck, cellist, but he's struggling. So low price, all that stuff. So, okay.
So next up was Chris who was
non-binary.
Non-binary, owns a coffee shop chain, and is 35 and lives in Dallas.
Yeah, this was an interesting one. This was fun to do too.
So I chose a baby blue 2020 Toyota Corolla hatch in manual.
Okay.
So
again,
I've reviewed one of these, but they make it in this really cool blue color. It's such a good color. It's like a sonic blue.
That's cool.
I picked it because it's new but reasonable. So know you own a couple coffee chains.
Yeah.
You can afford a new car. I'm sure it's a write-off.
Yeah.
It's
a write-off, Jerry.
Yeah.
It's a
it's a hatchback for bringing the supplies around.
You need
refilling cups or a trunk full of plastic cups to bring to the other chain.
Yeah.
Store 2 is doesn't have any napkins or whatever.
I made Chris more successful. So go ahead.
Oh, wow,
interesting.
I said fuel. It's still fuel efficient too.
Yeah.
So it's not like a cargo van or like a truck. To be carrying supplies.
Yeah.
And then I also just said it's a fantastic manual transmission.
Is it?
It's a really good manual transmission.
See, that's where you have the way over the advantage of me because I don't even know this stuff. And,
that's fair.
I mean, if you would actually be able to do this in real life, like match a person up with a car, really, you'd be able to do it because I have no clue about these cars or how they run or anything. I just went by looks and some of the features and specs and stuff.
It's interesting because I think a lot of filmmakers do that.
Yeah,
and
probably,
so you're more of an art stylized version, and I think I am a more real grounded version, which is kind of less exciting.
Are you doing a shout out to Craig Lieberman?
Shout out to Craig Lieberman and Paul Shin.
Paul Shin.
So what did you pick for Chris?
Okay, so I chose a 2022. So 2022 BMW X5 PHEV.
Plug-in hybrid?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's an X-Drive 45E, I guess. I don't even know all the numbers. And things.
X-Drive means it's all-wheel drive.
Okay, yeah.
The numbers used to distinguish the displacement of the engine. But now BMW has completely given up, and they mean nothing.
Really?
It's just the bigger the number, the nicer it is, technically.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. This is $82,000. So
wow. Okay. So yeah, much
there.
more successful coffee chain.
It's a nice chain of stores. Let's say there's not just 2 stores in the chain.
Yeah.
There's like 40. Okay. Chris is very successful.
Yeah.
So I made it gray. It's a kind of a hybrid crossover kind of vehicle.
Yeah. I really like the X5s. They're pretty good.
I think it looked cool, but it looks kind of odd especially for a BMW. It has all the bells and whistles, especially because Chris is in Dallas. And it has like nice air conditioning and all that stuff.
That's fair.
And for, again, kind of an SUV thing for, like you said, for running around to the different coffee stores, but also being able to carry stuff, but not a giant vehicle, but not a tiny
like
vehicle.
A commercial vehicle.
It's a BMW, and Chris deserves a BMW kind of thing. Like that's the whole thing that, this is something that was well earned by all the hard work.
Yeah.
Going into that, and then that's okay. So that's basically what happened there. It's gray though. It's like not flashy. But
BMW does make some cool colors. They have some
I'm sure.
They call them frosted colors.
Oh, okay.
Which are matte colors.
Oh.
They do like this matte blue that's really cool and
Interesting.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, that's a good pick.
So
it's
it's-
funny we both had different interpretations of how big the coffee chain was.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like if you don't have a lot of details
Yeah.
to go on, you really really are guessing.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, like I say, I'm only going by like looks and specs and things
Yeah.
like that, where you know what would be best for these people. Like
Yeah.
what actually would make sense. So okay, so next one is Janice.
Yes, so Janice was
48 or no, she's 48.
I think so.
she's
Yeah,
48. Never had a job, no kids.
no kids. So kind of
dogs.
a rich suburban
Yeah.
preppy mom.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
not
Yeah,
mom,
very
dog mom.
well. Dog mom, right? Just wealthy, volunteers a lot, and she has a sugar addiction.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know why we gave her a sugar addiction.
So
Yeah,
I
it's fun.
chose a white 2017 Lexus GX 460.
Oh, okay. All
So
right, let's take a look at that.
Again, I've
I'm
driven
gonna,
one of these.
Well, that's fine.
This is the one I reviewed.
Wow. Okay. Very
yeah.
similar to what
Okay.
I chose, but go.
So
yeah.
hold on, let me adjust here.
All right. Yeah.
So the reason I chose it was it's expensive and has the Lexus badge.
Yep,
I mean,
yep,
brand new. These
yep.
things went for like 80.
Okay. That's exactly what mine costs. 80.
It sits up high and it's
Yeah.
huge. I don't know why smaller people want to drive the largest vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
I
a
really
psychological thing or
genuinely, I
something,
will
yeah.
die on this hill
Okay.
that if your vehicle is over a certain size, you should be required to take different driver's ed classes or have certifications
Yeah.
for some of the Suburbans and Tahoes in
yeah,
the world.
some of those are huge.
I drove today.
difficult to
I drove
drive, too, by the
a 2021
yeah.
GMC Yukon Denali XL.
Okay.
Which the XL means you have about 4 feet behind the third row of seats.
Wow.
I mean, this thing is
it's
massive.
the XXL burrito.
Basically.
Of the
And I was
of the
thinking
cars.
today, I was trying to maneuver it through this little parking space, and I was like, you need another certification. You need like,
Yeah.
excuse
you
me.
need a
You need
CDL.
some- yeah.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, there needs to be a middle ground of CDL before like,
Yep.
we just like literally that Yukon that I drove. If you just got your license today,
Yes.
you can just hop in that thing and drive it wherever.
Yeah.
And you're gonna hit everything.
Yeah.
So
I could imagine that. And I drove the truck, and you know how big our
yeah,
truck was.
the truck was 19 feet long, I think.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how big is this? How big is the
I
XL?
don't remember.
The
I don't
burrito
remember.
XL,
But it's
XXL burrito?
huge, and also you have way bigger blind spots.
Exactly.
Because it's an SUV and you have 3 rows. Imagine if you have 3 rows of people. You're
Right,
looking through
right.
heads. You're looking through.
Well, remember the Ram had really good visibility. Really.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could
There's
see
a single
anyway.
cab long
right.
bed, so you
yeah,
could,
so you could see
yeah.
everything. It was like
I mean, the corners of the bed were in a different area code, but
well,
you could see them. That's the
that
thing.
is true, but you could see him, so that was good, yeah.
My other reasoning was it has the Toyota counterpart
Oh,
that is
okay.
identical,
Yeah.
but it's not a Lexus.
Right.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
it's basically a Toyota Land Cruiser,
Oh,
but with
nice.
a bigger grill on
that
the front.
makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
It has
Yeah.
a bunch of room to carry
The
dog
dogs,
supplies.
Yeah.
And the last reason is that, and this fits in with the sugar addiction.
Uh-oh.
My friend Ryan used to work at McDonald's.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
there was a type of person that would come through the McDonald's drive-through.
Okay.
And he was like, it was always stay-at-home moms that had tons of money.
Yeah.
And they would order whatever food, but they always got Diet Coke light ice.
What?
A large Diet Coke with
Seriously?
light ice. He's like, there was like a whole category
Wow.
of people that
Okay.
would do this. And
Yeah.
he's like, they always came through in like Range Rovers, Lexuses, BMWs,
Diet Coke light
Diet
ice?
Coke light ice. And so it
Okay,
became
weird.
this joke
Okay,
between
yeah.
me and him. We'd see like a mom out and about like in a Range Rover, and we're like, I guarantee you she gets Diet Coke light ice anytime she goes to McDonald's.
Yeah.
So that was just kind of a staple in my mind for that. So what did
Okay,
you
it's
pick?
cool.
You were laughing because it
So
was something similar.
I'm laughing because literally the car that I chose was $80,000. So
Oh, okay,
exactly
interesting.
the same kind of thing. A 2022, so it's a new one, 2022 Volvo XC90.
Oh, okay. I've done one of these.
Recharge plug-in hybrid T8R design, extended range, 7P. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. So okay. So
A
here's
lot of
the,
hybrids from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of these people seem like they would be into that. They would be into either electric or hybrid. So this one is, she gets it in Candy Apple Red because of her sugar addiction.
Okay.
That's kind of all I have for her sugar addiction thing. And it is an automatic 2.0 liter, 2.0 liter. Looks
Inline
like it's
four,
a
16
inline
valve,
four, yeah, exactly.
direct injection.
Hybrid. All-wheel drive,
Yeah.
so dependable, blah, blah, blah. It's a Volvo, okay?
Yeah.
To me, plenty of room for the dogs, for hauling stuff, for volunteering. It's safe, it's comfortable, it's cushy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, it's a Volvo.
See, the Volvo screams more to me like family.
Oh, really?
Because
okay.
Volvos have always been some of the safest cars on the road.
Yeah.
That screams safety to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like someone with kids would prioritize that more. That's interesting.
Probably more. You know, you're right. It's probably.
But yeah.
So your pick was probably more accurate than this one, because I was thinking, well, you know, she never had a job, so like it's
interesting that we both did big expensive SUVs though. I mean,
exactly.
We're typecasting for sure.
Yeah, well, you know, we probably, that one I think we probably both hit on though.
Yeah.
I think that really
you
know, makes, and honestly around here in the Midwest, I see that a lot. I see a lot of
yeah. I mean, it just brings me back to my point of we need another classification of license just for some of these big freaking cars.
I agree. We need actually many classifications of licenses for people over certain ages.
Yeah. God.
Things like that.
Speaking of which, next one, we have Roy.
One. Yeah, he's 62.
Okay.
Yeah. He's an executive. He's a jerk. He's an awful person. He's had 4 wives.
Yeah.
I don't think he's still married, but he's had 4 wives. Kids don't like him, and he's got tons of money. Okay, so
I chose. I have a feeling we chose similar ones.
Probably. Okay.
A white 2022 Mercedes S550.
Oh no!
Oh really?
Mine very different. Yeah.
So it's a big sedan, the biggest sedan that Mercedes makes.
All right.
My reasons for it, they're way too expensive. They start at like 100.
Oh, okay.
Or they might start at like 85, but still with taxes and fees, you're looking at 100.
Yeah. You're much more practical than I am.
Huge depreciation.
Is it?
Like Mercedes depreciate more than almost any other vehicle.
Okay.
Do
they really?
Yeah, my friend.
Mercedes do?
My friend has an S63 AMG.
Okay.
So that's the same car as this, but with a twin turbo V8.
Yeah.
Like performance, everything.
Wait, didn't we do? No, we did a. What did we do? Where it was literally the most depreciable car. Was it Acceleration or something like that when we watched the movie Acceleration?
Maybe.
And it was like the car she was driving.
Oh, the Maserati.
Right.
Yeah.
It was
That's the most depreciating. But like Mercedes takes a hit.
Okay. All right. So Mercedes.
Huge depreciation. My friend got a 3-year-old S63 AMG for half price. They got it for $60,000, and that's like $130,000 car.
Okay.
3 years later.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And then it has that big Mercedes image. The S550, like when you pull up, I mean, this thing's long. It's especially the white, because you can get them in. It's like black and white is like the 2 colors they come in.
Okay.
And the black is just like kind of low key, but like the white, it's the white Chariot,
Right. Exactly.
And obviously he'd probably have someone driving him around in it. It's that sort of thing.
Okay.
But I don't know. I probably should have said Maybach, which was like the basically upgraded Bentley Rolls-Royce competitor of Mercedes.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I stuck with the S550, and I imagine he would get the new one each year. So he just eats $25,000 each year.
Oh yeah, easily.
Just losing money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was my reasoning.
Yeah. I made him a little bit more insane. Okay. So my version of Roy is he is nuts.
Oh wow.
So so I chose a 2021 Ferrari SF90. Is it Stradale?
Stradale base.
Stradale, base. This one was going for $850,000.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy is a loon.
Yeah. 1,000 horsepower.
1,000 horsepower. So 1,000 horsepower. It's red, of course. Insane acceleration. This is actually the description. Insane acceleration, supercar exterior styling, surprisingly comfortable cabin, no room for baggage. And I put that because he doesn't have any room for any woman's baggage.
Yeah.
That's what he
and
is
I could
all
see
about.
this. I mean, it has 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
I could see this going 25 miles an hour in a 35.
Right. Exactly.
Like he seems like that kind of guy, you
Exactly.
know? Like you
Exactly,
see it at
right.
Whole Foods and that's it. Like
right.
it will never ever see a racetrack ever.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he won't be. But it's got 1,000 horsepower that will never be used. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is he's just a jerk. I mean,
it's all talk. I mean, that's what a lot of
show.
supercars
it's
are.
And it's a Ferrari.
No one
show.
who's ever bought a Bugatti has ever maxed out a Bugatti.
Probably not.
I mean, they always touted
Yeah.
253 miles an hour. No one has ever hit that.
I bet.
There's the guy on YouTube, Stradman.
Yeah.
He bought a Bugatti. I think he did like 230 in it.
Yeah.
But
You know,
which is insane still. But
I have
like,
to say, as they say in 200 miles per hour, the show that we saw, the movie we reviewed, you don't need the top speed in a street race.
Yeah.
You know, that was all factual. That whole
Oh,
movie was
jeez.
factual. All right, sorry, we're not going to go there. But yeah, so
next one?
let's do the next one.
So the next one was
James.
James. He was a 26-year-old millionaire, I believe,
Billionaire.
after
We
his
made it.
parents
He was
died.
a billionaire. His dead parents. Well, we just said dead parents.
We basically created Batman, is what we did.
That's exactly.
It's just scientists. It's science.
Batman.
It's Batman and Iron Man put together because he's a
Yes!
smart genius.
Yes.
And he has
exactly.
dead parents.
So
I
this
think-
is Batman and Iron Man. So
I
yeah.
think we went really different on this one.
Okay.
I will guarantee you we
I
went
don't
really
know.
different.
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
I did a white 2019 Chevy Bolt.
Really?
So a Chevy Bolt, I'll show you here,
Yes.
is a little electric
Show me.
hatchback.
Oh, wow. That's tiny.
Yes.
Wow.
They're
That
about
is-
40 grand for that.
Okay,
And they
all
only
right.
do about 125 miles of range, but they're all EV. It's an electric
Okay,
car.
All right. Okay.
My reasoning behind that was that yes, he's like a billionaire
Yep.
from his dead parents, but he's very smart. I know.
I'm sorry. We're so terrible
Yeah.
to this guy. Yeah. all right.
But he's very smart. He
Yeah.
seems very analytical. He's
Yep.
on the verge of this scientific. What did we say? He's on the verge of
it's a-
scientific discovery.
verge of a scientific discovery.
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 What did I say? I was
Verge of a scientific discovery.
I was reviewing a car today.
Discovery.
And
all right. That doesn't even fit there.
what did I say? I was trying to say wheelbase, but I said wheelbase. Wheelbase? Yeah. It was
That's
bad.
for me. That's for me. For my, I can't.
But I thought that like
okay.
it's EV,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's an electric car. He's
Yeah.
very smart.
See, you went
very
electric a lot
technological.
too for this. I mean,
This is the only electric car I think I have. Yeah, this
Okay,
is the only
so I'm
electric car. It's not even. There's no even hybrids on here.
I'm not paying any attention at all. Who are you? I don't know. What
But
is
it's not a Tesla. I was gonna go
Right.
Tesla right
Yeah,
off the bat.
That was my first.
But-
was Tesla.
I was like, he's very analytical, and Tesla is just not a smart buy.
Right.
Teslas
Yes.
are pretty terrible cars, actually. Like all said and done. They're cool
Yeah,
pieces of
that's-
technology.
yeah.
It's cool to go 0 to 60 in a sedan in 3 seconds,
We know that.
but they're built terribly.
Yeah.
That's
the thing. That is the thing. Is honestly, it's like, yeah.
You got to treat a Tesla like a roller coaster. You go once a year, and it's super exciting for that day.
Yeah.
But if you lived every single day going to Six Flags,
Yeah.
I guess mainly
some
the
people
fact
do.
that you would be eating Six Flags food every day. You're not going to run right. Like, you're not going to feel good.
So
They're just
okay.
poorly. You know what? No. It's not Six Flags. It's the traveling carnival. Because for a day, it's great,
That's better.
right?
That's better. Yeah.
But
for
then
the-
day 2, you're going, and you're like, oh,
When
the swinging ship is missing a bolt.
I was gonna say, when are the bolts gonna come
Yeah.
off?
And
Yeah,
then you start
exactly,
hearing
yeah.
the creaking, and you're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And then, without fail, as we know with local carnivals, there's always a ride down.
Always.
There's always a ride down.
Always.
They're like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
this is that and the other.
Yeah.
And so, from what I've heard, Teslas are always in the shop. There's
Are
always
they?
something wrong with them.
Okay,
And
yeah.
you can't fix them at home. I mean, that's
No,
the biggest
you
thing.
can't,
Is that
no.
like
You can't wrench them at home. That's,
you
that's
can't
nothing.
even pick them up because you'll puncture a
Right.
battery pack on the bottom.
And you're
So-
end game.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I went EV, but like
Okay.
a very, very sensible EV.
Yeah, that was
A
extremely
runner-up
sensible.
choice would be the Nissan Leaf,
Okay, all right.
but I don't know why I
Okay.
felt
No,
Chevy
that's
Bolt.
good.
So what did you
Right.
pick for our
So-
billionaire child?
So for their billionaire child genius, Batman / Iron Man, you might, I don't know if you'll appreciate this or not. the 2007 Pontiac G6.
Wow.
And as we know,
a major throwback.
Yes, it is. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
The car is invisible.
Yeah.
We know this. I lost that. We owned one, and I
Yeah.
lost that car so many times in parking lots.
Oh, yeah.
It is literally invisible. When you drive down the street, you get in the car.
Yeah.
You drive down the street. No one sees you. No one cares. It is the most staple, invisible, the gray,
Yeah.
the four-door.
It's very interesting. I have thoughts, but keep going.
Okay. So it's invisible for a 26-year-old boy genius billionaire on the verge of a scientific discovery. He cannot be seen.
Yeah.
I mean, he does not. If he's going anywhere. Now, granted, he's got billions of dollars, so he's got some fun toys. Maybe he's got a Bugatti at home or whatever.
Yeah, but his daily driver.
But his daily driver is going to be the Pontiac G6 because it needs to be non-flashy. Just get me around. It's not going to be, it actually is a
maybe
very
a
super
sentimental
stealth car.
value. Maybe that his parents were killed in that car or something. You know, they were hit by that car. They were branded with the Pontiac logo.
Could be. Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what happened.
They were killed by a Pontiac executive.
Yeah, and,
Wayne Cherry shot them in the chest.
and
Wayne Cherry designed the Silverado and Tahoe of the late 90s,
really?
early 2000s. Yeah.
Oh,
Big fan of his work. Yeah.
Okay,
I
didn't even know who that was. Seriously,
I sent him a letter to
Did you?
come on my podcast. I never heard back because that's the only thing on his website was a P.O. box. No other contact info.
Really?
So I sent him a letter to come on my
Wow.
podcast, and I
Good.
never heard back.
Yeah.
But also, I didn't receive the letter back. It didn't bounce.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
So,
good.
yeah,
That's,
who knows?
maybe got there. So anyway, that
This
was
is
my
a very
first bet.
interesting pick.
Yeah.
Because let's get on to the next character.
Okay. Yes.
Named
Definitely.
the Shifter,
Okay.
who's a superhero
Yes.
that can
Superhero.
shapeshift
She's-
and is terrified of getting caught.
Yes.
So she wants to blend in.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes,
my
yes.
first thought was the G6
was
for this
it really?
one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
okay.
that's interesting.
It's
But
funny,
I
yeah.
chose for her
Mhm.
the green/gray 2009 Honda Civic Si. They came
Okay.
in these really weird colors. To me, that looks kind of greenish,
Yeah.
but it's
yeah.
marked down as a gray.
Okay.
Two-door. I chose it because Honda Civics. No one notices Honda Civics.
You know what? When you showed me that picture, I was like, that could be any car in the world.
But the SI is the performance version. So I mean, it's a little bit
Ah,
quicker,
okay.
manual transmission only.
You and I actually went in the same direction.
Interesting.
We really did. Yeah.
So it looks like regular traffic, but if
Right.
she needs to make a
Yeah.
little getaway, she has a
Right,
little bit extra
exactly.
zippy power.
that's what mine
Yeah.
is too. Same exact
so what?
thing.
So what did you pick?
So I chose the 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk.
Oh, with the Hellcat
Yes,
engine.
with the Hellcat engine.
Yeah.
So honestly, and I'll tell you the reason why. This, by the way, is about 90,000. So here's
I was
the
gonna
thing.
say I don't think she can afford that, but
Well, she's
okay, okay.
maybe the billionaire
Yeah.
boy genius is helping her. 707 horsepower.
Yeah.
6.4 liter Hemi V8. Same as the Hellcat, but actually faster off the line because it's all-wheel drive.
Yeah, it actually hooks.
Yeah. So so super fast. Brembo brakes for awesome stopping power. 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. That's pretty darn good. Faster than the Gallardo, the F430, the R8, the 911, and the GT3. Faster than all of those. So when she needs to get away, she can do that. Now, if you look at this car and you don't know,
Yeah.
if you look at this, you're like, well, okay, that's a regular
Yeah.
family car. That's gonna kind of blend in, unless you know about the Trackhawk, unless you know
Which you
about
could
it.
debadge the back. The only thing you're
You
gonna
could.
have issues with is the exhaust on these.
Yeah.
Just the stock exhaust, it
Yeah.
chops.
Okay,
You're
well-
sitting at stop like whoop 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 whoop
So,
whoop whoop.
she'd have to work on that one.
A bigger muffler or something.
But I allowed her to have some customizations.
Okay.
So, first of all, that car also this SUV it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
yeah.
The Trackhawk has drive modes of auto, sport, track, snow and tow, and a custom setting. So she can, as a shifter, she
Yeah.
can shift to different things that she's
Yeah.
doing. She can also get away. It allows her to be basically invisible, get away quickly, chase anyone in a very stealthy vehicle. Now, here's the thing. It's a very clean sleeper SUV Well, it's not really an SUV, is it? No.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's a considered SUV. Okay.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's Nick's Durango.
Oh, is it?
Same
Okay.
chassis.
All right.
Same
So-
chassis.
But okay, but this is a pretty. When I saw it online, it was
Yeah.
pretty cool because actually there's a YouTube channel that like showed sleeper cars.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted was her to have a sleeper
Yeah.
car. It's a specially built. This is what I added. This is just fiction that I just added to this. It has a specially built antimicrobial HEPA cabin filter because she's a germaphobe.
That's not that great. The Tesla has that.
Does it really?
It has a biohazard mode.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Some
then-
Teslas have HEPA
Okay.
filters in them, and you hit a button, and it will only pull the air through the HEPA filters. And
Ah,
apparently,
okay.
you're supposed to be able to drive through nuclear fallout
What?
in a Tesla.
Wow.
That's like the idea of it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they've tested with it, but they have like these filters that are rated for like 35 minutes of nuclear fallout
Wow.
or something,
Okay. Wow.
which is insane.
That is insane. Yeah.
But so that not
Um,
super fiction, honestly.
No, so but there one thing which I thought was more fiction, and then Nick showed me a video that this is actually true. Is she had it installed that at a push of a button it can change colors.
Yeah.
There is actually a car now.
BMW did it, I
Yes,
think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Nick
It's
showed me the
weird, yeah.
BMW. It blew my mind to actually see it live.
Yeah.
To see someone walking around the car as the car changed colors, and it wasn't CGI.
I don't think
was
that'll
real.
ever come to market. Everyone's
Probably
like,
not.
"Oh, I can't wait
Nope.
till we could change our cars," and I'm
Nope.
like, that technology is not gonna."
No, and
Yeah.
by the way, if the power, first of all, the power's got to be crazy.
Yeah.
Power
Yeah, yeah.
consumption. Plus the fact that if that power goes out on that, you have the world's ugliest car.
Yeah.
because it's all like PC
Yeah.
circuit boards underneath.
Yeah.
So when Nick was showing me, I was like, yeah, but that would be really ugly if you didn't
Imagine
have it switched
blue
on.
screening your car. Honestly, with
That would
Teslas,
be
that's
pretty.
not.
That would be,
Some people have blue
yeah,
screen
so-
Teslas.
I mean, we laugh now, but you
Yeah.
know, kids 25 years from now listening to this podcast are gonna be like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's totally normal.
This is what happens.
This is what happens.
I remember Tom
they all
Sig-
become Shaquille O'Neal.
I get, oh, whatever, man. I'm DJ Diesel. It reminds me of a Tom Segura
Yeah.
bit because he talks about he tells a story about trying to buy marijuana and he almost died.
Really?
And he's like, if
Really?
you tell people that
Yeah.
story in like 20 years when it's
Yeah.
legal
Yeah.
everywhere,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, what? Did the 7-Eleven burn down or something?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly right.
it's
yeah.
so funny how
Yeah.
things change.
It
But
is funny.
so
It is. It
that
is
was a
funny,
very
so.
interesting pick. I think that's a good pick too.
So that's fun. It was fun to, and I never knew the Trackhawk existed. So that was
Oh,
kind of
really?
a cool thing. Yeah, I never. Knew
I
about
was very close to reviewing one.
that. Yeah.
And I've done Hellcats. I've driven cars with
Oh
this
yeah,
engine
exactly.
before.
That's why I figured you'd know. But
The Cherokee's got to be something else. The reason I couldn't review it was at a dealership and it was in the showroom, so they couldn't get it out of the showroom for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Because these cars are so easily stolen.
yeah.
And then it literally takes this little $100 bouncer box. It basically mimics the code of the key.
Oh, you're kidding.
And so Dodge has this huge issue that they haven't addressed where it just
Does do they make the Jeep?
yes.
Okay.
So it's Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler are all together, and now Fiat's together. It's a Deep.
It's a
Dad, look, it's a Deep. Jeez.
yeah. That's how.
But basically,
you're talking like I'm talking.
I
today.
know.
That's
I'm
crazy.
tired,
I know
man.
you're tired. You're very tired.
I've talked all day. I filmed 3 cars, which like I'm like, oh, I just kind of sat in cars all day, but
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I talked
No,
for
you
3
got-
hours
right.
straight.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, on these Dodge products, the key asks a question, and then the car answers that question.
Okay.
So I mean, it's
All
just
right.
numbers and
Right.
digits, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
corresponds, whatever.
Right.
But apparently, it's not that sophisticated.
Yeah.
So it's like me going like, "What color's the sky?" And then any box can just say blue, and then you're
Right.
like, "All right, come on in."
All
Like
right,
it's
guy,
like
you got it. You
it's
got
like
it.
the worst bouncer ever. It's like literally like a frat house. Like, do you know someone
What's
here?
that?
Yeah. Okay,
Right.
come on in.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
He said yes.
Right.
So I couldn't review that Trackhawk because
Yeah.
it was in the showroom.
Okay.
Because they got stolen so much.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And
that's cool.
the Hellcat I reviewed too was also in the showroom, but it was easily accessible, so they were able to pull it out for me.
I mean, it'd be fun to drive. It'd be
Yeah.
fun
The other thing
Uh-oh.
is
here
that
you go.
today I drove a Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk. Today. This
Wait,
is this is a Trackhawk.
Oh, that's
I drove
trail.
a Cherokee Trailhawk,
Okay, what's
which just gets red tow hooks and different bumpers.
is that it?
It's so depressing. It's
No kidding.
I titled the video 2015 Jeep Trailhawk Review, An American Imposter.
Wow.
Because it's all built on it's a smaller version of this car. It's a
It
different
is?
chassis,
Okay,
but
yeah.
it's all built off of a Fiat chassis.
Oh.
So it's really a
Okay.
Fiat
All right.
underneath. Has a Fiat engine, Fiat transmission. So I called it the American Imposter.
All right. That's good.
But yeah, so let's get on to our final
okay,
one.
So
we're
final
going
one,
on a
final
little bit.
one.
He's
Cyborg.
a cyborg.
He's a cyborg.
trying to hide among humans.
Right. He's coming back from the future.
Yes.
He's stuck here now.
Yes. I chose for him a 2000.
He must blend in, by the way.
Oh yeah.
And he has an oil drinking problem.
Oh right. I
and,
chose
and his
for
name
him.
is Rex. Sorry. And he's
I-
really tall.
Okay. I chose for him a 2012 Nissan Cube.
Oh my gosh.
What?
No, okay. So mine is Mine's in 2012 as well.
Okay. 2012 Nissan Cube. I remember I was listening to a podcast.
So yeah, what's
I think
the
it was
deal?
Chris D'Elia.
All
And
right.
he was like, they were just making fun of this car.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, this car looks like people drive it. So when the robots come, they're like, oh, we're one of them. Because it's a very weird looking car.
Right.
It's an asymmetrical car.
That is true. That would be
So it has that rear wraparound window.
Yes, I
which
know.
I
Seen
recently
those, yeah.
learned. Well, it's so one corner of the car is completely window, so you don't have a blind spot, right? And it's on the passenger side, so when you look over your shoulder, you could see this whole corner of the car. There's no blind spot.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know that before.
In Japan,
Yeah.
the cars are right-hand drive.
Yes.
Their driver's seats are on the other side.
Yes.
So the window is curved on the opposite side.
Oh.
So their blind spot, you can see right through it.
Okay.
So there's two different chassis of the Nissan Cube,
Really?
depending on if it's left-hand drive or right-hand drive. Because
Right.
most times what happens is they just switch where the driver's seat. They
right.
switch like the brake booster on the other
Right,
side of the
sure.
firewall, but like they just swap over. They mirror the dash.
Right,
But the chassis as a whole is the same: left-hand drive or right-hand drive.
Yeah.
Ideally, it's
Okay.
the same. They just bolt the things to one side or the other. It's a completely different chassis for the Nissan
That's
Cube.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
So it can have that panoramic window.
That is crazy.
Very interesting. But
is
I
crazy.
think it looks so much like a robot. Like it honestly looks like a Pixar robot to me.
It does. You're absolutely right. It would be
That-
something a robot or a cyborg would.
I
choose.
feel like the cyborg would be like, oh, I have to act human, so
Right.
like,
Yeah,
But like,
but-
it also kind of reminds him of like a friend, or like
Well,
it
yeah,
reminds
this-
him
the-
of his home
the
time
more
or planet
human
or something.
side. You're right. The more
Yeah.
human side would have some sentimentality to
Yeah.
it.
It
It's,
honestly.
yeah.
Have you ever seen Big Hero 6 or know what it is?
I
That
know what it
Pixar
is.
movie?
I've not seen it. I'd
It
like to
basically
see
looks
it. I'd
like
like to see
Big
it.
Hero 6 as
Yeah.
a car.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
so
I
what-
could totally see that.
Yeah. So what did you choose?
So mine was a 2012 as well, Acura MDX.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The reason
I've
why
done one of those.
The reason why I figured you did, and
Yeah.
the reason why I chose it is it has the V6 J37 engine.
Is it the J37Y?
Maybe whichever one. So here's the deal. It said online. This is what I looked up.
Yeah.
It said the J37 engine consumes as much as a quart of oil every 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's the reason why I gave him this car.
Okay.
Was he has cases of oil sitting in his garage.
Oh, that's
So-
a good idea.
So
Okay.
people go,
yeah.
"Oh, you got an MDX? You
Oh,
got a,
yeah,
you got a
yeah, yeah.
2012 Acura MDX. Okay,
Yeah.
you're eating through a lot of oil." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Wink, wink." He's like, "Yeah."
Oh, yeah, that's
the-
why I have
yeah,
all that
that's
oil.
why I have all the
Okay.
oil. So because he has that oil addiction.
Yeah.
So the only problem is, here's
Yeah.
the thing. So for this, it's he likes that if this actual one, and no kidding, it has the technology package. So that's what
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what really
yeah.
sold it.
Acura does those.
It's sold about the car.
Yeah.
And then so it's an unassuming car, blends in.
Yeah, it's a little bit more angular because it's basically a Honda Pilot
Yeah.
underneath.
Right. Yeah, okay.
But it's a lot more angular, so that kind of fits with the cyborg robotness
Yeah,
of it.
exactly. And so it kind of fits in. It kind of, he needs to blend in and stuff. So here's the thing. Unfortunately, it only has 39 inches of headroom.
Oh,
And
wow,
he's tall.
yeah.
So I had to think about that. He actually had a sunroof installed so that, or what happens is without the sunroof open, he must actually remove part of his torso to drive,
yeah.
which is very inconvenient.
Yeah.
So it's not it's more of a show car for him to say, "Oh, that's the reason why I have all the oil."
Yeah.
He's a cyborg. He doesn't need a car at all that. He could walk anywhere he wants to walk. But
interesting.
anyway,
very,
so
very interesting.
That was the thing. I was looking up. I was trying to find the biggest oil-eating.
And you really landed on an MDX?
Yeah. That
Interesting.
was one
Okay.
of. I went through and I actually I Googled. I did the Googles.
Yeah.
And found what engine eats a lot of oil, and that's one of them.
Yeah, mid 2000s 2.4 liter Toyotas drank oil.
Really?
To the point where there's a class action lawsuit.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I only know that because I just filmed one.
Okay.
I did a 07 Toyota Highlander.
Okay.
Our neighbors used to have one. They had like a
Oh,
gold.
right. Yes.
I
exactly.
finally drove one of those. I haven't driven one before. And that 2.4 liter was in the Scion TC and the Camry, and there was actually a class action lawsuit.
Wow.
And so basically what Toyota did is they extended the warranty like an extra 10 years so you can go get it fixed.
Well, yeah, and probably with class action lawsuits, if they have to pay out anything, people will get like 30 cents.
Yeah, it's
with
not
a class
great,
action. They're not going to be great. Okay, so
there we
that's
go.
it. That's,
I'm surprised we didn't overlap in any of them.
No, I'm surprised too. And some of them were pretty similar, like the
Yeah.
Janet or the woman who,
Yeah.
some
It's
of
an
the-
interesting case study. I guess
It
we
is.
always rip on
It is.
on movies for not having good car picks, but
Right.
two people that are in the same family
Right.
have relatively the same backgrounds.
Right.
I
Choosing
always
different
tell
vehicles,
people,
yeah.
I feel like I'm very similar to you. I feel
Yep.
like I'm a smaller, slightly more socially outgoing version
You're a
of
much
you.
better version than me. Okay, that's what you're saying.
I'm the 2.0.
Right. Exactly. You have
alpha. I'm beta.
right. But you have you do have.
But we have the
the
same
ability of going
interest.
outside. Yeah. Oh yeah.
We have the same
definitely.
interests.
No
we have
doubt.
the same
Yeah.
hobbies. We
Yep,
have the same.
Yep. Exactly. So
and all that stuff.
filmmaking, cars, stuff like
But
that.
even
so.
though we're so similar, we picked such different cars.
We did.
So which just
We did.
goes to show.
Yeah.
When
I
picking
mean-
cars for a movie, it can be a lot.
Yeah, there's a ton of cars out there.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at the whole entire gamut of cars,
Yeah.
there's a lot that you could choose from. So
Well,
yeah, you're
that's
right. It's interesting.
Mom said to me one time, she was like, "So what happens when you run out of cars to review?"
Huh.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
"It's physically impossible.
Yeah, there's
It's
so
physically
many
impossible."
Yeah, there's so many cars.
And she was like, "How?" And I'm like, "Okay, I haven't done any Fiskars."
Yeah.
And she's like,
okay,
"What's
there
a
you go.
Fisker?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Scissors.
"Exactly, yeah." At the time, I hadn't done a Renault.
Oh,
I
okay,
still
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
done. I haven't done any other French cars. I've
You've
only
done-
done
you haven't
one
done
Renault.
a Bug. VW
No, and
Bug.
my friend who has the Renault just picked up a 2002 Mexican Bug.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I'm
great.
seriously. When I get back from the East Coast,
Yeah.
I think I might just hop on a plane and go to Florida for a couple
Oh,
days.
there you go. Fine.
And because he got so
All right.
many cool other cars.
Cool.
It's all
Yeah,
besides
so-
the point. But
Yep.
there is so many vast cars out there, and I think this is a fun
Yeah, it
little
was fun.
thing.
It
Maybe
was a
we'll
lot
do
of fun.
maybe
It
we'll
was a
do
lot
it
of
at
fun.
100. Maybe
Yeah.
or maybe when
Do
we have a
something else.
guest on, we can
Right.
can add that
yeah.
too.
No, it's a great idea.
So,
So
we're gonna wrap up here.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about the
giveaway. The giveaway.
Yeah.
So we want to do something special. So what we did is Vehicle 19. If you are a listener, you know that we actually, long story short, both Zach and I bought the same movie from the dollar store
Without
Vehicle
each other
19
knowing.
Without each other knowing. Vehicle 19, which stars Paul Walker.
Paul Walker, rest in peace.
Yeah.
For real, rest in
Yeah,
peace.
for real. So
No shout out to Porsche Carrera GTs.
right.
that's what he crashed,
yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Yes. So we wanted to give away one of those copies that we had because we have two. We don't
Yeah.
need two of these things, but and
We don't need one of them. But go on, go on.
but I thought I don't know, we'll sign it or something. We'll sign it with George Barris's name. Because he
Yeah.
signs everything.
Yeah, he signs everything.
Signs every car. So I thought we would do that, but I wanted to. So what I did is I set up a email address,
Mm-hmm.
and so for me, the first person who emails us, I think,
Yeah,
and says, "Hey, I want the Vehicle 19."
yeah.
So the first person that actually asks us that emails and says, "Hey, I want Vehicle 19," we'll make that the winner.
Yeah.
And that'll just be the thing. So the email is podcast at umcpodcast.com.
UMC.
Yeah, Unnamed Movie Car Podcast.
Okay.
So
That'll
it
be
is-
if you're watching on YouTube, which I highly recommend.
Yep.
It'll be in the description,
Yes.
so you can just click on it or
Yep,
copy paste
exactly.
it or whatever.
So it's and for out there, if you're on Spotify, it's U as in unnamed, M as in movie, C as in car, podcast.com. So it's podcast at umcpodcast.com.
Cool. So yeah,
Yep.
we hope to send you a signed copy of Vehicle 19
For whatever that's worth.
Yeah, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
To thank you guys for listening.
Yes.
Thank you guys for
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
us to
yeah.
50 episodes.
Yeah,
This was super
exactly.
exciting.
This was
a
a
wait,
lot of fun.
what's our
yeah.
next movie?
Next movie.
Yeah.
Next movie. It's one we talked about for a while, and I found it. Death Race 2000.
Oh wow!
Not the new one. Not the new ones.
Yeah.
Death Race 2000 with Sylvester Stallone
I
and
wanna
David
say
Carradine.
73 or
75.
something?
1975.
Wow, I was almost on the dot.
It is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, and it's also kind of unnerving, weird. It's a very dark comedy.
It's interesting.
It's a dark comedy.
It's interesting because I recently discovered a very dark 80s movie today.
Oh, yeah?
And I watched a couple trailers for it, and I was debating watching it because it's free on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's called The Fly. Have you heard of this movie?
yeah, sure. Was that with tall guy?
Yeah.
With it's very disturbing. That's a very
disturbing movie.
When that was originally created, that's a remake.
Yes.
When that was originally done, that was scary. That
Yeah.
was a creepy, scary.
It's about a
movie.
guy who gets bit by a radioactive fly, I think.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
no,
well-
his genes get crossed with a
Yes,
fly in an
yes,
experiment.
yes.
And he slowly turns into a fly, but at
Yeah.
first he's like kind of this like macho guy,
Yeah.
and he has like it's basically like where Spider-Man stops, and you're like, oh, he's got the best of both worlds.
Right.
But then in this movie, it keeps going,
keeps
and he
going, yeah.
slowly actually turns into a fly.
Yeah. It's with what's his face? A tall guy who was in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I can't think of his name right now. Which he has a whole series on Disney Plus.
I know people are yelling at us. Who was
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum? Thank you
Goldblum.
very. So it's him, and he's talking like this. And
There's an impersonator on TikTok that nails his
Really?
whole personality. But
Um,
anyway,
so
getting
that
off
would-
of
yeah, that's an
obscure
interesting one. That's-
80s horror
That is
movies.
by the way, I have not seen that one on purpose because it creeps me out. It's just
So I was
like-
listening to the It's Always Sunny
Yeah.
in Philadelphia
Oh,
podcast,
yeah.
and they mentioned it, and I looked it up, and I really wish I didn't.
Yeah,
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. It's really awful. So anyway, so Death Race 2000.
Death
next
Race
one.
2000. I'm very excited for
Yes,
that.
and please, absolutely, give us a ring on the podcast. Give us an email.
Yeah, email us. Yeah.
Podcast at umcpodcast.com.
One of these days we'll set up like a line too, and you can call in, and we'll
Yeah.
go through like voicemails or something.
Actually, that would be fun. If voicemails would be great, and then we'd answer questions. I don't know. Whatever,
Yeah,
so.
we'll figure something out. But
Figure-
thank you guys so much for listening.
Yep,
Thank you
thanks.
for getting us to 50 episodes, and we'll
Yep.
see you next time with Death Race 2000.
All right. Bye-bye.